Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with another video. Here, the guy I was talking about earlier, who was unwell yesterday. So today he's pretty much, I think, back to his usual mischievous self, but he didn't want to be in the thumbnail for my YouTube. So unfortunately, for my YouTube video, so I couldn't. Him and his brother were being pains in the neck, but this is Panda, and his brother is called Minsky, but they seem to like to hassle me when I'm trying to make YouTube videos, but they don't want to be in the picture. So, but yeah, as you can probably see, he's pretty much back to his usual self. I think it seems a bit tired today, so I think he's just recovering. Hopefully by tomorrow he'll be running around even like he was before. But yeah, he wasn't too well before. But I don't think he wants to be on video. He's a bit camera shy. But anyway, I thought for those who love cats or animals generally, I would get them in the video. Unfortunately, I had to force them to get in the video. But it was a bit bad. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce them. But yeah, normally they like to try and go onto my keyboard and hassle me and all that kind of thing. But right now they seem to be not playing ball, so it's a bit annoying. But anyway, topic of the video. Sorry, I did go a bit off topic, but I thought, as I say, for those who love animals, especially cats, I'd introduce the guy who wasn't very well. And thankfully he's moving quite a lot, because last night he was, and for most of the day even, I saw him on like an old keyboard. He was just lying there for a while, but I didn't think to wake him up, and I thought nothing of it. But later on, it seemed like he wasn't very well, which apparently happens quite a lot with cats. They eat the wrong things and stuff like that, just like me, I suppose. Anyway, I wonder if I resemble this guy. I'm going to crack on with the rest of the video. So I hope you enjoy it, and especially Monza fans and fans of Italian football. So just for a bit of fun, these are ideas, plans, thoughts, visions, points, number 31 to 40, whatever you want to call them. So anything else to say in the intro, but yeah, what do you think of the cats? I'd love to know. I was going to say I may be an Italy fan. I forgot to say actually, but I've got 3 lions because they remind me of lions, like the coloration. I'd love to know what you think. He's gone back on the keyboard now, but I'd love to know what you think about the coloration, like or the patterns, or basically their appearance. I think looks like 3 lions, which obviously for those who follow football, the England symbol, or probably in sports generally. But I know they're not as big as lions, but they do seem like lions, and they do have large claws, even though they're only kittens. But the bigger one I can't actually keep in the same room because he tries to eat the other 2. So they're very territorial. So I have to wait till they get used to each other. But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. And yeah, he's gone back on the keyboard trying to sleep. But here goes. So number 31, I would love to think about things that I wish to change about Italian football generally. I know for these videos I want to focus mainly on Monza, trying to fundraise for Monza and how I dream for companies that begin with M, as well as investors, investment vehicles, and any individual organisation, any investment, any organisation which invests that begins with M to invest in Monza, and also for them to work with Formula One, as it's based a lot in Monza, and also possibly even with AC Milan more. I would think about like the fashion industry as well, because it's quite popular in Milan. But how I'd love to think about how Monza could capitalize on the fact the fashion industry is in Milan. I know it's nearby, I'm sure, so not very good at geography, but all I know, the only reason why I know Monza is really because of the football team that got into Serie A. But I'd love to look into how Italian teams can capitalize from things like fashion industry and things like that. But on the subject of changing things in Italian football, I'd love to tackle like hooliganism, match fixing, corruption, crimes, criminality, like mafia activity and stuff like that. Be careful what I say, probably. But if I'm really dreaming, I would love for Italians not to be involved in such things, but instead be involved in football and be victorious, not through match fixing or cheating, but through victorious practices superior practices, which hopefully will become superior practices. So improving their diets and practicing and doing whatever it takes to build great football teams and bringing that pride back into Italian football. And even those from the diaspora, somehow I'd love to encourage Italian Americans and others to, like, instead of joining mafias, or instead of joining the mafia or whatever, or instead of using violence or being involved in crime or anything like that, or any other stereotypes there are of Italian Americans or whatever, I would love for them to be into football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, and bring back the pride in calcio. I'd love for people to find out about calcio all over the world. Some of the terminologies, for instance, and things like that. And also the defensive football. I'd love to bring in a more attacking football, so an entertaining football, whilst keeping some of the defences as well. And some of the things, all the things Italian football does well already, but also changing some of the things it doesn't do so well. So, for instance, I often mention how I'd love for Pep Guardiola, possibly even Ange Postecoglou, funny enough, who managed Celtic, ironically, perhaps rather ironically, who did a really good job at attacking. It shows how much Celtic miss him now. He made really good football. You could see the plan they had, but I wonder if Brendan Rodgers is anywhere near as good, to be honest with you. I fear probably not. But as I say, I would love for attacking managers to come into Italian football and change some of that defensive culture, but still, well, keep some of that defensive culture, but still have more attacking flair as well, and to produce the next Messi, Ronaldo, Zidane, things like that. So I think one of the things is a purpose in life. So people might join crime, criminality and stuff like that because they don't really have a purpose, perhaps, and maybe, I suppose greed is another thing. But again, money and trying to make more money and things like that possibly is a cover for not having a purpose. But I'd love to know what you think about that. Anyway, I think I covered point 31, I was going to say point 1, but the first in this video in quite extensive detail, and probably with the intro being quite long. So I'm going to move on. Number 32. And again, I know I mentioned this point, and I'm being very repetitive as I often am, but I would love just to reiterate, to remind myself and others, for people to subscribe to and just generally support, in this case, AC Monza's YouTube channel, and check out their videos, including their videos that are featured on Serie A. And I hope, maybe naively, that that will benefit Monza, and I hope for people to do that for all possible Italian teams on that, and also Celtic. I hope giving them views and things like that will help to support them on the algorithms and things like that. And hopefully that would encourage, or it would also encourage investors to see that Monza is a popular team if they go viral or whatnot. And if they trend, like if people type up Monza on Google and things like AC Monza and try and find out facts about them and things like that, check out their YouTube videos and things like that. Hopefully it will help them to trend, which will increase their net value, their net worth, and that kind of thing. And I hope that potential investors and sponsors and whatnot will see and say, oh yeah, it would be a good idea to sponsor Monza. They could sponsor like stands, advertising boards, the pitch, youth academies, and things like that. And they could also have like extra incentives, like selling their products, and again, marketing their stuff, advertising their stuff through investing in the club. And number 33, I'd love to know, on that note, other people's ideas on like marketing, branding. I hope they'll get the best possible marketing / branding / PR gurus or experts or whatnot to look at how they can market teams like Monza and other Italian teams, and Celtic as well. On that note, number 34, and anything else that can benefit their side. Number 35, it'd be cool if Monza fans and Serie A fans generally, and even football fans generally, typed in the comments, like on Facebook and stroke or YouTube, about, like, say, what your goals are for your club respectively. Hopefully Monza fans especially, in this case, for Christmas, like what would be on your shopping list, so to speak, like what sort of defender you would like, what sort of goalkeeper or goalkeepers, defenders, squad players, manager, coach, coaching staff, scouts, and all that kind of thing. What sort of ones you would want to see in your club or at your club, and let's say Monza or Italian football generally. What ones would you like to see in Serie A generally? I know I mainly want to focus on Monza for this one. Again, probably another naive idea of mine. Number 36. I would love for my videos to be well, if ideally I'd love for them to go viral, but for instance, if this went viral, if somehow this went viral or whatnot, if people shared it, liked it and shared it and things like that, and enjoyed this video, hopefully, I could, if I monetized it, the money I made, I could use to not only raise the profile of AC Monza, but also invest in them and vice versa. And again, I'd love to see what the club could do as an incentive towards investors. So, for instance, they could have their products, goods, services, and whatnot advertised and even sold in or as close as possible to the stadiums, including in the youth academies, in the shop, and things like that. So, as an investor and or sponsor, respectively, preferably both, could, or investors, even in the plural, and sponsors and whatnot, could have proud to sponsor Monza, and in this case, and they could have, like, as well as the shirt sales for the club, they could have like things that they sell. So if Formula One, say for instance, had a partnership with Monza, the football club, obviously AC Monza, they could sell like toy cars or things like that, things to do with Formula One in the store. But yeah, that, I think that would be pretty cool. Number 37, once again, I'd love for them to have a partnership with Celtic. Number 38, and as I say, tackling violence, hooliganism, crime, criminality, and that kind of thing, including obviously match fixing or things like that. Looking at how they can work with FIFA and UEFA to ensure that kind of thing doesn't happen in football as much as possible, like to cut it out as much as possible, basically. And also, there's another point I was going to make, but I've completely forgotten again. I say doing whatever it takes to make Monza as great as possible, as successful as possible, most importantly on the pitch, which I think is most important for fans. It's like someone says in business, revenue is vanity, profit is I can't remember what the actual term is. Revenue is vanity, and something about profit, which I can't quite remember, and cash flow is sanity or something like that. So I think the reason why I mentioned that is because whilst I think it would be great for Italian teams and Celtic to have wealthy co-owners, investors, shareholders, and whatnot, I think the main thing is that they actually invest to bring in those trophies, including youth development and that kind of thing, to bring trophies at youth and at senior level, which will bring pride to the club, in this case Monza. And I think Celtic, on that note, is an example. Like, there's 70 million in the bank, but many people say that the board is scrimping and saving, so they're not reinvesting. There was a point I was going to make, as I say, but I've completely forgotten it. As I say, I hope they'll look into all possible ways to market, brand, and improve their PR and things like that, and to be attractive towards investors. But that was not the point I was going to make. I've completely forgotten it. But again, working against domestic violence and things like that, as I mentioned before. Number 39, hopefully, talking about Christmas shopping list, I hope I'll remember my chain of thought or certain ideas I had one fine day. And number 40, I'd love for my fellow Anglo-Indians and other Eurasians, as well as neurodiverse people, to practice and help Monza to practice their football and encourage good diets like not smoking, drinking, taking drugs and things like that. As I often say, like ultras or the football hooligans instead could like get involved in coaching and lead by example, improve their diets, not smoke or drink or take drugs or anything like that, so that they, and that kind of thing, so they teach the youngsters. So instead of getting fines for the club or things like that, they actually help to fundraise for the club in any legal way they can to ensure the club benefits in the short and long term. But I'd say there was probably one or two ideas that I've forgotten. So, but I'm going to wrap this up anyway. And Dad's going to sleep again, but I hope he's all right. But anyway, I am out. Peace and love.